What is going on, guys? It's Shu here, bringing you another review on You Can't Be in a Rom-Com with Your Childhood Friends. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I was not a fan of the first 5 minutes of this episode, like the initial 5 minutes, just because I'm not a huge fan of the tsundere trope. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's a little overdone, cliche, annoying, and you can only stomach it but so much. And speaking of stomach, not that I was really planning on saying that specifically, but that's what we saw in this episode, in these first few minutes, with Akari. Like, she was so proud that she's so prideful at the fact that she picked the wrong thing, that she had to, go through with it. And that's what happened. She was really, for whatever reason, was stalking our boy, and the what looks to be like the convenience store, like the 7-Eleven or something like that. And she then picks out the spiciest curry bread that she could have, and she burns her mouth in the process. Like, she sticks it out the entire time and eats it, and she collapses. And I gotta be honest with you, I was not a fan of it. I thought it was stupid. She held on to his hand, which I thought was like, okay, whoop-de-doo. But somehow this became some kind of like a tender moment, and she collapses. Like, and then they had to take the bread off the shelf because she collapsed. I'm like, buddy, you chose this. I don't feel bad for you. So I was just not feeling it. Honestly, that to me was the lowest point that this has been so far. But that's just me. But from then on out, the episode kind of gets a little more interesting. We actually see AU focusing on his grades. Summer break is around the corner, and the girls want to hang out. They all want to have fun. They're all happy that they had passing grades, but AU, he's just not content with his grades. And so he focuses on trying to make sure that they are better. And, props to the guy, he wants to focus, but his mind is wandering on other places, and the girls don't help him. And all three of them, honestly, all three of them are distracting him with all kinds of things, and even, giving some fan service in this episode because they want to go to the beach with him. And he actually shows his grades, and it was kind of funny because he had missed maybe 2 or 3 questions at most, and his grade average was probably, 90 something. Like, he did not have bad grades. He was just searching for perfection, and that's just him. But one of the fun moments in this episode was the bath scene, where we see that he was already relaxing, and this is your typical cliche trope. The male protagonist is already in the bathroom, and then the girls show up, and we have them all talking and doing their own thing, and all of a sudden, he feels the need to like hide, and it's like, but you're in the bathroom, you can't hide but so much. And it was fun to see how the other two main girls were kind of oblivious, both SHIO and Akari. But when it came down to our little Runica, like, we see that she's actually more aware, and she notices that he's there, and she covers for him. Which I was thinking, okay, she's a lot smarter than the other two. I hate that they're painting them as idiots, but she had her moment to kind of spoil it. But I think she also tried to get information out of the other two to kind of have him listen in on that. And he hears that, they don't dislike the fact that if, like with him, if they had feelings for her, well, for them, like, they don't really hate that idea. But that could get complicated. So we actually get to see, him wonder about this and kind of just still be distracted when we see him in the last portion of this episode when he's studying with SHIO. And again, SHIO keeps fumbling, and I don't understand why she keeps doing this. But she and him are studying at the library. Of course, they're trying to get their grades up, and they don't end up going to the beach. And she actually kind of says, what if, you and I, are we always going to be friends? And what would happen if I asked you out? And again, she just fumbles. Like, and that's just one of the frustrating parts about this, because of the three girls, I'm rooting for her mostly, and that's just me. We haven't even been introduced to the fourth girl, but I feel like SHIO has the most like opportunities, and she continues to ruin, like, self-sabotage. So I don't know what's going to continue to happen. Hopefully the fourth girl gets introduced soon, so that way we get some good competition, but we'll see. That's it for me, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you later.